Hey everyone, Leo Bond here. I'm back again today for the Best Buy Canada plug-in blog, and this time I'm taking a look at the all-new Parrot Mambo drone, which is a mini quadcopter that has some of the absolute coolest features that I've personally ever seen on a drone. Now, we'll take a closer look at the drone and some of its accessories here in a minute or so, but first I'd just like to quickly go through a few of the Mambo's key specs and other important details. So, for one thing, the Mambo is super lightweight, weighing in at just 0.06 kilograms, and it can fly for up to 9 minutes per single charge of its 550 mAh battery at speeds of up to 18 kilometers an hour, so that's 11 miles an hour, and its total flight range, or operating radius, as in how far it can get away from the transmitter, is roughly 20 meters, so standard Bluetooth 4.0 range. Its maximum altitude is 25 meters. Of course, it uses the Free Flight Mini app, which is a free app, and it works with either iOS or Android-based smart devices, but not just any old devices. You have to check first to make sure that your device will meet the minimum requirements so that you're not disappointed if you're unable to fly it. Now, the Mambo is meant for anyone ages 14 and up, and most of its features are fully automated, so it's really as easy to fly as a much higher-end drone, like even those professional photography drones. Very, very nice, and although it is not a professional photography drone, it does have a very nice little 0.3 megapixel camera, so you can shoot some photos, which is always a nice option. So, I mentioned that some of the features of the Mambo were fully automated, and these include an auto takeoff and an auto landing feature. And what's really great about the Mambo is that when you hit that takeoff button on your device screen, it lifts to a height of about 1 meter, and it just kind of settles there and hovers, and it awaits your next command. So it doesn't drift away like some drones do, or keep going up and away so that you can't even see it anymore. And that just makes it so much easier to fly. So I really like that. Now, part of what makes the Mambo so easy to fly are its stable flight features, and it has a few of them. For instance, there's a 3-axis gyroscope and also a 3-axis accelerometer. And then as far as sensors go, there's a pressure sensor, an ultrasound sensor, even a camera sensor. And a lot of these components, they kind of work together or cooperate to make things just as easy as possible on the pilot. So it's just so much easier to use than some of the drones that I've tested in the past. Okay, let's just take a slightly closer look at the Mambo drone itself here, along with a few of the various bits and bobs that it comes with. And the first thing that I want to do is just to give you some sense of scale. So this is just a standard pin. And as you can see, it's not an overly large drone by any means. And it's got this very nice black and white color scheme. It's actually pretty slick looking. And it's got 4 removable bumpers. They just slide right off, and they're quite light, but with them off, you're supposed to be able to get roughly an extra minute of flight time, so that's not bad. Now, one thing that's interesting about this is that the camera is bottom mounted, and I've never actually seen that before on a drone. It's just right there in the middle, but you probably get some pretty interesting shots with that, I think. Now, the battery, which is just this little guy right here, just goes right into this big slot in the back, and you want to have this little blip here facing up. And once you pop it in, you can see that the little kind of headlights or eyes start flashing. And to charge the drone up, you've got this here USB cord, and she just plugs in right there. Now, some of the other accessories that this thing has include a very cool little Canon. And this Canon just mounts right on to the top of the drone, and when the drone is on and the app and everything is all set up, it can automatically read as soon as you put the Canon on. And of course, you load the little balls. It can hold 6 of them, so you load them in the top there, and altogether the set comes with this little bag, 50 balls altogether. Now, of course, you will lose them. They're very easy to lose, especially in grass since they're green. But I do believe you can actually find more of these. So that's a pretty cool little feature, and it probably shoots a good, several feet anyway. At least it did when I was testing it. It all depends how high elevated you are and everything like that. Now, another attachment that this thing has, which is kind of cool as well, is this grabber claw. And it doesn't actually let you open and close this by hand. It has to be the app that does that. And all you have to do is just go ahead and weave this part that looks something like a Lego block here in through the side of the framework of the drone, and then just plug it into that same slot that you plug the Canon into. And once again, when this is attached, the app will automatically detect it and will give you the option to start grabbing stuff. And as you can see, there's these little clip bits here that just kind of grab onto the bottom of the framework. And once she's in place, you can go around picking stuff up. It's very, very neat. Now, obviously, it's not going to let you pick up, really heavy objects, but you might be able to bring someone a stick of gum or something like that. That could be cool. And now, another thing I just wanted to show, they do provide a sticker set here that you can use to decorate the top part of the drone. So there's 3 different patterns and also a blank one. And what's neat about that is you get to color that yourself. So if you wanted to maybe spruce it up with some bright red or something like that, that would be a, sort of a neat way to add a little splash of color. And finally, there is a very good instruction booklet. It has 8 different languages, including English, Spanish, and French. And each language, you're going to have 14 pages of very clear, very good instructions. So overall, an excellent little drone and an excellent little set with some very neat accessories that really go above and beyond what I certainly would have expected from a hobby drone. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is the Mambo's ability to perform aerial acrobatics, and I have to say, I've never been able to pull this sort of flying off before, but with the Mambo, the tricks are entirely automated. All you have to do is select the stunt you'd like to perform from a drop-down menu within the Free Flight Mini app, and then just double-tap a specific spot on the flight pad of your device screen, and the Mambo will do that trick. You can flip over either forwards or backwards or to the left or to the right. Just make sure that you give yourself enough airspace both above and below the drone to be able to complete the stunt. And I think that's as good a place as any to wrap things up today. The final verdict on this thing is pretty much as good as it gets. I really liked it a lot, and I certainly enjoyed my time testing it. As for a recommendation, I'd had to give it my highest possible one. I just couldn't really find any fault with the Parrot Mambo drone. Now, if you liked this video and found it useful, please give it a like or a share. And if you enjoy this sort of content, you're certainly welcome to subscribe to the channel for more stuff like it if you haven't already subscribed. And do check back in about a week's time or so, because I've got a review coming up on a very similar, pretty much a related drone to this one. It's called the Parrot Swing drone, and it kind of combines the characteristics of a quadcopter and an airplane. So very, very neat. Do be sure to come back and check that out. As always, this is Leo Bond saying thanks everyone for watching, and have an excellent day.